Okay, welcome back. This is part 9. Let's put that up there. And again, in part 8, I only got through 4 movies. Sorry, I will go faster. But this next part, I have to apologize, is going to start out with another lengthy discussion of a film, which you saw right there, and that is Reservoir Dogs. So this is the 10 years anniversary DVD double disc collection of a movie that is just one of my all-time favorite films. Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino. It's a crime thriller about a robbery and the men who commit the robbery. First movie directed by Quentin. He wrote some scripts, I think, before Reservoir, but Reservoir ended up coming out before True Romance, which is a movie I'll talk about later. So really the world's first introduction to him as a writer and director. And just the casting, Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Quentin himself, of course, in a small part, Michael Madsen, Steve Buscemi, just an amazing cast, pitch perfect, amazing dialogue. It came out in 1992. I was about 22 years old, and again, it's funny, it came out about the same time, I think, that grunge music, Nirvana and Pearl Jam and that whole thing happened. And while that was a seismic shift in music, for America at least, I feel like Reservoir Dogs, and of course then Pulp Fiction, which came out 2 years later, was really a seismic shift in movies. And people just that Tarantino dialogue, where they're talking about very mundane things, while at the same time, maybe doing horrific things, or leading extraordinary lives, but having the most banal conversation about Madonna song, or Silver Surfer comics or something, like in Crimson Tide, which Quentin Tarantino script doctored. Anyway, yeah. So Reservoir Dogs had a huge impact on me. I don't know, to be honest, looking back, that I saw it on the big screen. It was a small independent movie when it came out. Of course, nobody knew who Quentin Tarantino was then. But it was one of those movies, I'm pretty sure I was working at a video store at the time, and that I probably, rented and then bought and then just watched again and again and again. It got famous for a little while for the violence in the movie, even though, as many of you know who've seen the movie and watched special features about it, like the famous ear cutting off scene does not actually happen on camera, which doesn't lessen the impact of what it does to your brain in a way, but it's actually not shown on screen. Yeah, if for some reason you haven't seen it, like maybe you're 18 or 20 or something, and it just feels like it's a long time ago, it came out when you were 12 or something, yeah, go back and see it. It's a great small little independent movie. Okay, so next is the Royal Tenenbaums is in here, which again, Criterion Collection. Look for Criterion Collection if you can. A fun movie. Not actually one of my all-time favorites, but a movie that I do enjoy. Okay, let's turn the page. But same director, the movie that I really do enjoy, Rushmore. So again, Criterion Collection, and the director is Wes Anderson, and he made a movie with the Wilson brothers called Bottle Rocket, which is a great little independent movie, speaking of independence, like Reservoir Dogs, and just showed a lot of inventiveness. And that was a movie about some brothers who kind of stumble into a life of crime, and they co-wrote it, And then Rushmore is a movie completely different from that, but also with kind of a lovable, goofy male central figure. And the main character is a high school student at like an exclusive prep school, and he just basically doesn't do any homework or school assignments. So they want to kick him out, but they can't because he's involved in all these clubs and activities, and he's like the president of everything. And there's a great Scottish character in the film who I just love his accent. One of the students is from Scotland. The movie takes place in America. And Rushmore was really one of the first movies where Bill Murray kind of came back. Like, you know, Bill Murray is a huge, huge movie star, right? Caddyshack and, you know, all the movies he made back in the day. And but Rushmore gave him this kind of smaller role to play. It was still comedic, but had some serious undertones, and he's just brilliant in it. And people started to talk about him, you know, I think he got nominated at least for a Golden Globe, if not an Oscar. And so Max, the main character, and Bill Murray's obviously adult character end up falling for the same teacher, a very pretty British woman in the film, and you know, they're vying for her affections, etc. And I don't know why I love the Rushmore so much. It's just, I love the soundtrack. God, I play that CD all the time. It's kind of retro 60s Britpop, like the Kinks and Cat Stevens and the Who, and it's just, I just love Rushmore. So please rent Rushmore if you've never seen it. Okay, let's finish off the R's here, and then we'll move into the S's. The next R movie would be Running on Empty, which is a drama starring the late River Phoenix. It's one of those movies that makes me cry a little every time I see it. It's not, you don't cry like bawl cry, you know, like, but I tear up, I think, every time I see it. Basic plot is River Phoenix's parents, played amazingly by Christine Lahti and Judd Hirsch, were 60s activists in the 1960s in America. They blew up a napalm lab, and unbeknownst to them, there was a janitor still in the building. There wasn't supposed to be anyone in there, so they should be arrested for hurting the janitor, but they go on the run to escape the law and assume fake identities, and they have children, and River Phoenix is one of them. And it's about their life, you know, being nobodies and moving from place to place. And River is finally old enough and in high school where he doesn't want to run anymore and doesn't want to have to endure the sins of the father, as they say. And he, you know, gets a girlfriend, and he is into music, but they can never afford to buy a piano for him to practice, and blah blah blah. And it's just such a well-made drama and so well acted. Yeah, so Running on Empty. Try to see it if you've never seen it. Great, great performance by River Phoenix. Okay, the last R movie I'll talk about, which I won't hold up the DVD because there's no cover art. Run, Lola, Run. I haven't talked too much about foreign films going through here, a little bit, but not too much. Run, Lola, Run is a great German film by a director whose last name is T-W-Y-K-E-R, I think. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. His first name is Tom Twyker, maybe. Anyway, Run Lola Run is just a kick-ass, kind of a Rashomon concept film in a way. We were just talking about Rashomon, and featuring an amazing actress. And again, it stages this scene like, what if this happened? And it's done 3 times, and you know, she's running basically to meet her boyfriend to get him to stop, you know, from doing something foolish. And along the way, say she bumps into this lady, well, what happens to her life as it spins out of control? And it's hard to explain. Obviously the movie's in German. You can turn on the English subtitles. Please watch it that way. Don't watch it dubbed. It's got an amazing kind of rave, new what is it, new wave? No. I'm so bad with music. It's a great soundtrack, electronica maybe you would call it. It's not very long, it's like 81 minutes long. The story concept kind of just holds up enough to tell the story they want to tell. and it really wouldn't work, you know, like One More Time, but it's a great movie, and she's fantastic in it. She has a shock of red hair. The posters are fairly famous, and yeah, just great foreign film for an American audience. Of course, if you live in Germany, it's not a foreign film, but well worth seeking out. Run, Lola, Run. Okay, that'll do it for this time. Peace. I'll film the rest of the alphabet hopefully soon, and we're gonna start off. I'll tease you with one of my favorite movies, Say Anything, when we come back with the S's. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.
Bye.